Madrid, 1834. You're in the darkest room of the royal palace. No, not for an execution, for a preservation procedure. Before you lies the body of the recently deceased King Ferdinand II. Queen Maria Cristina stares at you with bloodshot eyes, and what she says chills your blood. Preserve him. Everything about him. What does she mean? His heart? His brain? Number. Something much darker. Ferdinand's anatomical monstrosity that terrorized Spain for 20 years drove 3 wives to their graves and turned the palace into a torture chamber. Your hands tremble, because now you understand. This isn't just about preserving an organ, it's about hiding the physical evidence of history's most depraved reign. So how did this man manage to stain one of Europe's most powerful thrones with such depravity? To find the answer, we must return to the beginning. But wait, if you love these dark truths of history, give that like button a tap and don't forget to subscribe. Because what you'll learn today is the kind you'll never find in textbooks. Write in the comments where you're watching from. I want to know you from around the world. All right, let's dive into Ferdinand's hell. October 14th, 1784. A prince is born in Madrid. But this is no ordinary birth. The blood flowing through Ferdinand's veins is poisoned by centuries of royal inbreeding. Mother and father, first cousins, grandmother and grandfather, cousins again. For generations, the Spanish Habsburgs and Bourbons married among themselves, creating a genetic nightmare. The result? Deformities, mental disorders, and in Ferdinand's case, worse. It started showing in childhood, strange growth patterns, but by adolescence, the royal physicians could no longer ignore it. The prince's anatomy was not normal. From Dr. Francisco Flores' secret notes, His Majesty possesses a member of such extraordinary dimensions and peculiar structure. The base is finger-thin, yet the tip swells to the size of a human fist. Its length exceeds 25 centimeters. Intimacy is nearly impossible. Another doctor was more blunt. It resembles a billiard cue, thin at the root, thick as a fist at the end, and long enough to be used as a walking stick. This wasn't just about size, the shape, the curvature, the bizarre protrusions. Ferdinand felt like a freak. And think about that era. Small and elegant was the mark of aristocracy. Greek statues were measured, refined. Ferdinand, he felt like a monster. But there's more. His childhood was a masterclass in dysfunction. His father, King Charles IV, was absent, preferring hunting to ruling. His mother, Queen Maria Luisa, openly flaunted her affair with Manuel de Godoy, the man who effectively ruled Spain. Young Ferdinand watched this humiliation daily. He learned about power, betrayal, and the weakness of trust. But what truly shaped his character was his physical abnormality. The palace buzzed with whispers about the prince's condition. Servants giggled behind their hands. Courtiers made subtle jokes. Foreign diplomats reported back to their masters about the shame in Spain. Ferdinand learned early that he was a joke, that his most intimate condition was entertainment for others. This humiliation bred a deep, festering rage that would define his approach to Spain. And this shame would turn him into a creature. 1. Ferdinand marries at 18. The bride is his innocent, beautiful cousin, Maria Antonia. The wedding is magnificent. Cathedrals ring with bells. Madrid's streets blaze with celebration. Maria Antonia dreams of a fairy tale. The wedding night destroys her. Bridesmaids hear screams from outside the room. Monster! Monster! That night, the torture begins. Special pillows, medical devices, oils. The bedroom becomes an operating theater. Before each encounter, Maria Antonia must be drugged, laudanum, because otherwise she cannot endure. The process is not lovemaking, it's a clinical procedure. Ferdinand's doctors are summoned, pillows are positioned, oils are applied. The procedure begins, agonizing, dehumanizing, and so traumatic that Maria Antonia must be sedated just to survive it. But Ferdinand sees this as normal. He even interprets his wife's disgust as betrayal. She's deliberately not getting pregnant, he thinks. The liberals are using her. The queen collapses, weight loss, walking like a ghost. dead stare in her eyes. And Ferdinand's obsession grows darker. He begins commissioning special restraints, leather and silk devices designed to keep Maria Antonia in position during intercourse, preventing her from pulling away or expressing her revulsion. These instruments, crafted by the same artisans who made the king's saddles and hunting equipment, added a particularly disturbing dimension to the royal workshops. 2 pregnancies, 2 miscarriages. The first miscarriage in 1804, 4 months in. Court physicians quietly blamed maternal weakness, but privately acknowledged the truth. Maria Antonia's body had been too damaged, emotionally and physically, to carry a child to term. The second was even more devastating. She carried the child almost to full term, losing it in a bloody, nightmarish delivery that nearly killed her. The queen never fully recovered. 1. Maria Antonia dies. Official cause, fever. Real cause, despair. And Ferdinand's reaction? Finally relieved. He didn't mourn. He blamed her. He claimed she'd sabotaged her own pregnancies, that she'd taken herbs to prevent conception, that she was part of a liberal conspiracy to deny him an heir. Second wife, 19-year-old Maria Isabel of Portugal. Same story, same terror, same screams. But this time Ferdinand becomes even more paranoid. He has peepholes drilled into palace walls, watching people. His wife, ladies-in-waiting, everyone. Isabel's meals are tested for poison, every movement noted. Encounters become medical experiments. German anatomists, French surgeons brought in. The royal bedroom welcomes spectators. Yes, you heard that right. Ferdinand invites foreign doctors to witness his failures. One particularly disturbing account comes from a court physician's diary, describing such a session. Ferdinand naked on a velvet platform, surrounded by wigged men taking measurements, making sketches, offering suggestions for new devices and procedures. Meanwhile, Maria Isabel waited behind a screen, sedated and pale. Isabel cannot conceive. Ferdinand goes mad, consulting astrologers, alchemists, performing strange rituals. For 3 months, Ferdinand and Maria Isabel participated in bizarre ceremonies involving incense, chanting, talismans, and acrobatic positions supposedly derived from ancient Chinese parchments. And then, incredibly, she became pregnant. The court rejoiced twice. Ferdinand glowed with pride. Spain dared to hope. But both pregnancies ended in heartbreak, miscarriages that traumatized the royal couple even more. 1. Isabel also dies. Again, nervous exhaustion. The truth was much darker. She'd actually died of hopelessness, her body and mind ravaged by years of sexual trauma, drug addiction, and psychological abuse. Ferdinand again blames conspiracies. They poisoned her. A strange scene at the funeral. He touches the corpse, talks to it, orders a death mask made. He displays it in his private chambers, where visitors report seeing the king conducting conversations with his dead wife's lifeless face. Third wife, Maria Josepha of Saxony. She too dies under mysterious circumstances. Ferdinand is now on the edge of madness. Fourth wife, Maria Cristina of Naples. But this time, there's a secret. Cristina arrives pregnant. By someone else. Ferdinand knows, but he doesn't care, because he needs an heir. 1. Isabella is born, the legal heir, but not biologically his. And Ferdinand's mind completely unravels. He stares at the baby for hours, scrutinizing every feature, asking, does she resemble me? He commissions genealogists, physiognomists, anatomists, anyone who could provide scientific evidence of Isabella's legitimacy to ease his doubts. Their written reports, preserved in palace archives, reveal the desperate creativity of scholars trying to satisfy an impossible royal demand while also saving their own lives. The palace is now a dungeon. Constant surveillance, poison tests, midnight raids. Maria Cristina writes in her letters, I live in a glass cage. Every breath is monitored. Ferdinand's surveillance obsession reaches grotesque proportions. He has spy holes drilled in walls between his chambers and Maria Cristina's. He spends hours pressed to these crude peepholes, watching her like a demented voyeur. In her most private moments, tending to their daughter, praying, simply existing. The queen, aware of this constant observation, begins moving through her own chambers like a prisoner, carefully controlling every gesture and expression. 1. Ferdinand's body is collapsing. Years of stress, disease, torture, everything converging. September 29th. Death. Official cause, gout. Real cause, everything. Body, mind, spirit, all exhausted. But the story doesn't end here. An autopsy is performed, and his organ is preserved. 35 centimeters. Deformations, internal scarring, decades of self-surgical intervention marks. Yes, Ferdinand had been operating on himself for years, secretly with whatever instruments he could obtain, attempting to modify his anatomy to enable normal intimacy. These pitiful self-correction attempts, conducted in secrecy, had added layers of psychological trauma to his physical abnormalities while making his condition even worse. The organ, along with detailed medical drawings and written observations, is sealed in the Vatican archives. It's still there today, in a locked vault. Too disturbing for public knowledge, too politically sensitive, too real. Scholars granted access to these materials describe them as both fascinating and profoundly disturbing, a window into the private hell of absolute power corrupted by anatomical fate. And so it ends, the story of history's most depraved king. 3 wives dead, the 4th traumatized, his daughter illegitimate, his country destroyed. Ferdinand's legacy? Not a physical organ. It's proof of how uncontrolled power, personal shame, and paranoia can devastate a nation. While Spain burned, while his people starved, the king spent fortunes on genital devices and foreign medical consultants. The Spanish Empire, once ruler of the world, was reduced to a minor European power, its decline accelerated by decades of a king's misrule whose personal obsessions superseded public duty. If this story shocked you, and it did, leave a like and subscribe, because history is far darker than you've been told. And remember, power without wisdom is disaster. See you in the comments. In the next video, I'm back with another dark truth. Keep discovering history's hidden face.